Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. What's going on with everything? There's new patches and events, big roadmap updates, CitizenCon 3.22.1's been released. Devs are talking about distribution centers. Master modes are a hot topic. There's just a ton this week, so let's jump straight into the summary. Star Citizen Alpha 3.22.1 is now live. This new patch has various bug fixes, some tweaks, some balance stuff. It also has the new Overdrive Initiative missions ready to go, which are a series of missions that lead into the Xenothreat Dynamic event. I don't think they're running at the moment, though. It adds Gravlev races and a huge amount of Master Mode updates to Arena Commander as well. Those Master Modes updates, very important because basically they're adding Master Modes into the live build in Alpha 3.23. So testing in Arena Commander now is super important to have that sort of new flight and combat really refined as possible, because it's quite controversial. A lot of people think it's too basic or too much crushing the ceiling and pushing up the floor when it comes to skill level, or it's not the combat model that they were sort of sold on when they originally backed Star Citizen. But try it, give feedback, CIG really want that. Also, there's a Capture the Idris event running until the 27th of February. So this has players attempting to assault Idrises in the persistent universe as part of the Idris wargame mission that will appear. They are fully destructible and have interior, so you can do proper boarding actions, and that's the sort of focus. Players are competing to be the longest in the pilot chair by the end of that event. So whoever's been in that pilot chair the longest will earn themselves an Idris M, which is a pretty rare capital ship. But it's awesome to see these Idrises now effectively flyable as capital ships by players sort of in the game now. It's a fun, competitive event. I mean, it's going to cause some sort of stress, I suspect. It's going to have players actively trying to blow up Idrises, either to ruin people's fun, or because, well, that's what they wanted to do, or because they've got a friend, or they have a really good time in a seat in the Idris, in the pilot seat. So they don't want you to have a good time, so they're going to blow you up. Why is the event only on for a few days? Well, it looks like this event is mostly being run by CIG devs, so they're literally in control of those Idrises to start with, just like the Platinum ticket event with the F8. There's CIG devs that turn up, they are the ones in control of the Idris to start with, and then players take it off them. So from CIG's perspective, it's actually quite hands-on and high manpower because they need CIG devs to participate. They could quite easily run this with NPC Idrises as well, so that might start turning up. It might have just been at the beginning they were doing CIG devs turning up in them. If you've seen just NPC Idris as part of the Idris wargame mission, then please tell me. There's also a ship sale on as well. Cloud Imperium selling a load of capital ship busting ships, but also they were selling the Idris P in waves, but that is already entirely sold out, at least as far as I am aware. There's a roadmap update as well. Freight elevators are coming to Alpha 3.23, but the ability to call up and put away vehicles in them is going to be coming a bit later now. They've sort of delayed that particular part of it. There are a load of Arena Commander updates now also being added to 3.23. So the biggest addition is engineering as an experimental mode. So this is going to include 3 test modes for the resource network and gameplay, like repairing, replacing components while in combat, putting out fires, coordinating and controlling various engineering operations. There's going to be custom lobbies, the return of private matches, and the ability to choose maps and set rules. Gravlev Royale, full-on hover combat, and new flight map is also here, minus Lament, an asteroid-laden area in Yella's Ring. This is obviously all being added to the ridiculously big list of Alpha 3.23 features now. CitizenCon has been announced. CitizenCon 2954 has been announced. It's going to be on the 18th to 20th of October in Manchester, UK. There is apparently an extremely limited event the day before as well. It's probably some sort of office tour, something like that, or VIP party. CIG are already hyping it as the biggest, best event yet. We don't have any details of the event yet, though, but as we know more, we'll give you more. In this week's Inside Star Citizen Master Blasters, they talked about master modes and gunnery changes coming to 3.23 and beyond that help streamline combat. I've got a video up on that and sort of breaking it down, but we'll highlight some of the important bits here. Ships will all fall within or between an archetype now. Snubs, light, medium, heavy fighters, gunboats, corvettes, frigates. They're all going to be balanced around that sort of archetype, and then any subcategory that they might fall into, like an interceptor, which would basically be one of those roles, but also then swap maneuverability for forward speed and acceleration, making it more intercepty, or fighter bomber, basically one of those roles again, but then focusing a bit more on tanking and delivering its payload. Weapons have archetypes too, with anti-fighter archetypes, but also anti-large, otherwise known as anti-material, or unspecified, which are either neither of those or in between the two. Almost every weapon and turret weapons are going to also become gimbaled now, which is a huge change. There's a precision firing mode that allows for easier targeting of a ship's systems, subsystems, weapons. It's going to zoom in, it's going to highlight these systems and sort of help aim towards them, sort of point your gimbals towards them more appropriately so they converge on them. And it will also slow your fire, so bear that in mind. Your DPS will effectively drop, but it will be significantly more precise. Turrets can also use an auto gimbal assisted aiming mode, which is now exclusive to them. Master modes are still evolving, and CIG want you to play in the 3.22.1 Arena Commander Master Modes tests that are available now, and give feedback because it's important for the 3.23 patch, as they are dropping master modes in there. Star Citizen Live this week. I really love the fact that the community manager, Niku, does little summaries of these and posts them. They are a gem. So, questions that were answered here by the team. How many distribution centers will be in 3.23? Around 13. They're just going to be on planets for now, but they're considering moons in the future. Initially, only Microtech and Hurston are going to have distribution centers. They're very large buildings, and you could even do missions in the same distribution center, so you don't have to leave it effectively. There will be plenty of PvE and PvP activities there. Are abandoned or derelict distribution centers planned? Not at the moment, but there is no reason not to have them, as they have with other derelict places in the verse. Distribution centers at sort of in pirate areas, pirate systems could be cool as well. Possibly it could change faction regularly, depending on activity, something like that. No plans at the moment for that, though. There are roads in these distribution centers. In the future, is it planned to have the centers sort of connected to outposts or other distribution centers? It would be cool to have roads connecting to different locations with missions interconnecting them. We know the community is interested in roads to navigate between places, or even maybe to do races with them. It looks like they're looking at it, but there's no confirmations. Could distribution centers be owned by players or organizations in the future? We're thinking about it. It's only theory crafting here, though, as it's not planned at the moment. But for example, these could be used to bring various benefits, such as manufacturing special items like Grey Cat amenities, and these goods would need to be sold elsewhere for profit. Organizations would need to defend these places to keep these benefits, of course. But again, this is not planned, but it's good to think of new ideas. Would underground facilities, bunkers, that sort of stuff be replaced by distribution centers? No, these other locations are entirely different entities, bringing different gameplay opportunities. What is a raid? We want raids to be end game. You've done the story, explored your career as much as you want to. You're ready for some big missions, and raids are where you will find super rare items, expensive loot. The goal would be to raid these places owned by corporations. These raids would be underground, so you would need to fly in the airspace of a distribution center, land, fight your way in, go down to find other rooms, loot, and dangerous NPCs would be there to defeat, so you're gonna have to play strategically to get in. Don't forget that you also need to get out, so be prepared. This is not for 2024 though. We are developing an MMO, so we're going to have more quests and missions like this. Raids will be an interesting experiment for us when the time comes, as we don't have traditional classes, health bars, etc. PvE and PvP and lots of other missions can sort of meet in the same place with distribution centers. This obviously excites some players, but another part of the community is worried about this mixture. How will these gameplay loops going to merge in Alpha 3.23 and then the long term? Distribution centers are very varied. Some are welcoming places, some won't be, some will have security. Some of these more fortified distribution centers might have missiles, turrets, and guards. Some will be more like rest stops. It will mainly come in 3 flavors though. Friendly DCs, basically as long as a player has neutral reputation with them, you can access them, you can use their facilities as you please. There's hostile ones, they don't want players, whatever your reputation. And some are mixed, which will basically be, if you've got a high enough reputation, you're fine, or if you've got a mission with them, they'll welcome you in. There will be green zones protected by NPCs as a first layer of security. It doesn't sound like it's you can't shoot their zone. It sounds like if you shoot there, the NPCs will realize that you are hostile. And obviously, there's going to be lots of missions where you're going to be assaulting them or fighting them or whatever, so bear that in mind. But they are sort of increasing and updating the lore system and the security features as the game goes on. This week's sneak peek in the newsletter was of a set of large hangar doors in the floor of an AeroView hangar, suggesting that I may have been correct with how they're going to handle ships being spawned in the future, which is to have a big elevator there that sort of brings them in and out, because or at least have the illusion of that so that you can have a persistent hangar, all sort of making sense. Otherwise, you're effectively going to lots of different hangars when you spawn in different ships. But if they can go, well, actually, you bring your ship out of a big elevator, or you have to go to another room to spawn it, but it's basically coming out of this elevator. That makes sense. Will something like this be part of the 3.23 experience, though? Maybe. That's why they're teasing it now. Boom! That's it for your updates today. Do you think we're going to be able to change what ships are in our hangars from our hangar in 3.23. Literally be able to push a button and it will have the ship go down into the floor and a new one come out of the floor. I personally think that's coming later, but I do think it will be a thing. Distribution centers, are you excited for them? Did you like Cloud Imperium's answers to those questions? Master modes, have you tried master modes out in 3.22.1? And are you liking the direction of where they're going? Do you think that they're making it too simple? Do you like the idea of precision mode? I really want to start targeting subsystems in ships, and obviously we're going to be able to do that potentially with the engineering and resource network modes, because part of that is physicalized components. Is the gimbling of all the weapons sort of something that you really like the idea of, or are you genuinely worried that they are simplifying all of this too much? Are you excited for Alpha 3.23 with all of its now heavy load of sort of features? Do you think it's going to be able to get all of those in, or most of those in? It's planned to be released in April. Do you think it's going to be able to make that April release date window? Have you participated at all in the Capture the Idris war game mission at all? Or have you just not been able to see one? Or is it a streamer event? Are you thinking, well, actually, only big orgs and streamers actually have any chance of seeing these or getting these at all? Are you enjoying Alpha 3.22.1 now that it is live? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you. People always ask me, what's your favorite ship? And I always answer, it's NordVPN with its powerful loadout. It wrecks pros and noobs alike. I can cruise around the verse with the added security that online threats aren't as much of a big deal. It also deals with intrusive ads like this one and gives you a greater accessibility to content you may want to watch on other platforms. I can watch Japanese Netflix. Is that even a thing? Maybe. You can find out with NordVPN. It is worth mentioning that CIG and Star Citizen don't actually produce a NordVPN ship yet, but NordVPN is available separately from the links below, and clicking those does help me buy spaceships, so it's basically the same thing, right? Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Get Nord, give ships. I don't know. That's an amazing promo. Every month, we give away a ship for Star Citizen. For February 2024, we're giving away a Drake Corsair Explorer with lifetime insurance and a game package. Everything you need to play and explore Star Citizen in style. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during this month. It is as easy as that. More details in the comments below. A massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel. It is with your support we are able to make daily Star Citizen videos. If you want to be one of those lovely people, then please check out the join button under my videos. That will help you become a channel member. There's Patreon, there's direct donations. All the links for all of that are down below. But there are loads of non-monetary ways you can help support us. Commenting, sharing, liking, all of that sort of stuff goes a huge way in helping the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and you have a great day.